And we are live, but we are waiting for one more commissioner. So just hang on for a second.
Did you see his post, Dave? Ron said that it says it's waiting for you to let him in.
I don't have a.
His text message says it's waiting for the host to start the meeting.
Host has started the meeting.
I know. I know, it says that, but then it's supposed to pop up and.
Yeah.
Okay, here he is. He's calling. Oh, hey, Ron.
Just resent the link directly from the meeting itself. So have him try that.
He got completely out and then went back to your email and clicked on that link again, and it's still asking him you're supposed to let him in.
I just sent him a new link. This time it's directly from the meeting.
Okay, he sent you a new link that is directly from the meeting. Okay. Okay. You can see his new email. Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so I think we can start now. Dave, is everything okay?
Yep, I'm showing him on. So
Okay, all right. So I'm sorry that we had to be 10 minutes late getting into this, but it just is technical problems. I'd like to thank all of you that are participating in this meeting. This is the City Commission meeting for the City of Mangum for March the 2nd, 2021. And at this time, I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Would you do a roll call, Billy, please?
Gay,
Here.
Webb,
Here.
Reese,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Okay. We do have a quorum on item number 2 of the consent agenda. Excuse me, 1, 2, and 3 on the consent agenda. Approve the minutes for February 2nd of 21, approve the claims for February of 21, and approve the estimated payroll for March of 2021. Is there anything that you would like to take off the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Make that motion.
And as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Gay.
Second.
We have a second from Webb. And if there's no more discussion, would you call for a vote, please?
come on. Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Going on to the agenda, on to the reports. Number 4, the financial report by I left out the remarks or inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item that is on the agenda. Is there anybody even viewing in that would like to make any comments to the commission? Okay, if not, we do not have anybody that wants to comment. We're going to go on to reports on item number 4, financial report by the city manager.
okay. So I'm going to share my screen here, as I always do. Here is our March 2021 financial report. The sales tax numbers are again up. They're up 3.9% over last year, or 1.68 up from last month. We're seeing again use tax is way up there. this is some really good news for us, and we'll hopefully continue to go down that path. Total fund balance for the month ends us out at in the positive 12,900 for the general fund. The utility authority, you can see our revenues are up 10% over last year, 13% over last month. That is to be expected with the cold weather. Usually that means it's going to go up a little bit. Our expenditures are down from last year, a little bit up from last month, but we're still in the positive. So our fund balance for the utility authority is 20,474. That leaves us, if you look on the bottom there, the general fund is up 138,593, and the utility authority is up 171,972 for the year. That's the fiscal year starting July 20th. Here's our sales tax numbers in our graphic format that we all like to see. Gives us that year look at where we have been, and again, it's always good to see those numbers stabilized. And here is our use tax that has risen up over the last 3 months pretty heavily, but that's to be expected with the holiday season. Of course, it gets pretty high as people are ordering things online for the holidays and such. So that is our financial report. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
If there are no questions, let's go on to item number 5, which it says January 21 financial reports for all funds.
There's no discussion for this. This is just the financial reports that you get. Those are your what I give you is the summary. You have a copy in your packets of the fund by fund, department by department. So,
Okay, any questions on that?
Work comp getting after us, isn't it?
Workman's comp, is that what you said?
Yeah. Are we getting a little more of that than we used to have? It seems like it's a lot higher.
Let me look at that. Are you talking about for a specific thing or a department or?
I think in all departments, the work comp budget shows it's up.
You're right. I see what you're talking about. I'm going to have to get into it. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. Some of them are normal, but yeah, we shouldn't be at 90%. That's for certain.
Yeah.
It may be that we've pulled funds out for unemployment tax that should have gone, or it happens. We've seen it before where we will accidentally take from workman's comp when that should have come from unemployment tax or some other expenditure. So we'll take a look at it and I'll give you an answer on that. I'll just give you a call.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, on item number 6, ordinance and resolutions, to approve the resolution 2021-27, appointing a judge, clerks, and counters for the upcoming election on March 16, 2021. So have you had a chance to look at the resolution? And if you have, do I have a motion to approve resolution 2021-27?
So move.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Webb. Okay. Any other, would you call for a vote, please?
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Motion carries. Going on to the next item on the agenda, number 7, discussion on the bids received for the roof at the Mangum City Regional Hospital.
Okay, this is me. So last month, Ronnie Webb, I will graciously admit you were correct. We actually did the bids through the hospital board. We never did them through this board. And since we agreed to do a 50-50 split on paying for that roof, we actually have to approve those bids, as silly as it may seem, through this board as well. So we pushed out for 3. We received 2 back, and one of those was not to fix the roof, but just to fix the piping. So really, we only had one good bid, and that was it was a reasonable amount for the amount of work that they're doing. We're going to split that bid into 3 sections. We're going to split those sections 50% with the hospital. So our first section, I think, comes out to $15,000. The second section will be 15, and I believe the last section will be next year, as we've already kind of laid out. We laid that out last month, those amounts. But if anybody has any questions on that, I'll entertain those.
Does anybody have any question about those bids and what the for us to go ahead and approve what the hospital board approved? Okay, if there's no questions and no discussion on that, let's see. Item number 8 is approve the best and most responsible bid for the repair of the roof at the Mangum City Regional Hospital. And what is the name of that company, Dave?
It's MFR, Maccabee Fox Roofing.
Maccabee Fox Roofing, in the amount of, what's that total amount?
83.
Is it?
83,000.
Yep, 83,000.
Okay, so it'd be 1/2 of 83,000.
That's correct.
Okay.
And
So,
we're doing this. We're splitting it up so that the first section is done in the spring here. The second section will be done in the summer. So we're going to have to reapprove the amount expenditure because that's going to be in a new fiscal year.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
yes,
Okay.
that does. So we need the motion to approve MFR Maccabee, whatever roofing,
Maccabee Fox Roofing.
Maccabee Fox Roofing. We need to put that in there in the amount of 1/2 of $83,000, right? Or does it need to say 83,000?
I think what we should do is say 15,000 for this one, and we will have to put it back on the agenda for the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just approving tonight to put enough funds to fix one section of the roof during this fiscal year.
Okay.
So it's only $15,000 what you're approving. The total project cost will come up to be that, but as Dave said, we can only do up to June 30th, and this is the only section that's going to be fixed by June 30th, and then everything else will be next fiscal year.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the motion we need? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we award the bid to Maccabee Fox Roofing, $15,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Bowman. Would you please call for a vote?
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, now we're on item number 9, presentation of Keith Kendall of the Shortgrass Rattlesnake Association and possible discussion. Keith, you're up. Are you there?
Hello.
hello. Go right ahead and kind of tell us what you're wanting and just.
Well, I want to know what the city of Mangum wants. It's the Rattlesnake Derby's coming up. Rattlesnakes Derby's coming up the end of April. And do we want to have, does this city want to have a Rattlesnake Derby?
Well, Keith, I think everybody in the town of Mangum wants to have a rattlesnake derby. It's just whether or not we can follow these guidelines that we need to follow and stuff. So if you could kind of give us an idea about what you are going to do, like when it comes to the carnival, when it comes to the vendors and things like that. Are we talking, how are you talking about how many people are going to be? Is this like just a regular rattlesnake derby
Well,
we've had in the past?
I don't know how we can control anything like that. If you guys have ideas, we're open to discussion. I mean, we don't really understand. We can separate booths, we can spread people out, but this is a city decision. It's not just an association decision. I understand that the alumni is wanting to do their thing, and we have multiple cities around us having derbies. They've already posted that they're having derbies. So, I mean, it's.
Well, what about when it comes to inside activities, like you usually have the Derby Princess thing and you have people inside and they do stuff? I mean, that's where some of it comes in.
Well, the Derby Princess contest is an outdoor event anyway. That's not done indoors.
Okay.
We do that on the platform, and as far as letting people in the pit, letting people in the butcher shop, we can do that we can do numbers with that. As far as keeping people separated, that's going to be a tough thing.
Yeah.
So
What's the governor's requirement with regards to activity? Are we still limited to 50? You're muted, Dave.
Yeah,
See you shaking your
Corey,
head.
you can, if you've got any further information, I haven't seen him even limited to that. As far as I understand, he's pretty much given us a carte blanche to do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's correct. There hasn't been anything directly from the governor's office restricting crowd sizes or anything of that nature. It's kind of a case by case, city by city, county by county basis is kind of how the governor has viewed it.
Basketball playoffs are going on. Is my mic working now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Basketball playoffs are going on right now, and they started off with the idea of vouchers with a certain limited number of spectators per participant, but now they're going to 50% capacity even on an indoor gymnasium. So that's, like we play at Chickasha in the area tournament this Friday, and I think Chickasha's gym holds 3,800. So they're going to have 1,900 people, or up to 1,900 people within the gymnasium this Friday night. I don't think there'll be that many, but they are still recommending masks and recommending social distancing when possible. The state tournament, they're going to do 25% capacity, but again, those are indoor events where the Rattlesnake Derby is primarily outdoor. And how are the other, if we've got Mr. Kendall saying that there's other communities that are already publicizing their derbies, then I would hope that there are no restrictions if that's the case.
yeah, well, Waurika, Winoka, Okeen, Apache, they're all publicizing their events.
Keith, how does the carnival take care of, I'm just sitting here thinking, are they going to sanitize after every kid gets off
Get off a ride. I understand, Mary Jane. I do. And that the thing going forward is we can't go forward unless we know we can go forward. Because I can contact the carnival tonight and get all those answers. But if we're just beating ourselves against the wall, depending on whether we're going to get to do something or not, that's where we are. That's where we are as an organization. We don't know what we can do.
What are the other cities that have put things in place? What are they doing?
That
Like you
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't deal with a lot of those people. I mean, as far as we don't communicate Derby to Derby. This is all a local event for each and all of us. It's not
Right.
like we're an organization that does stuff together.
I understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is those other cities that are doing this type of thing, is there something that they're doing that they've already, there's no reason to recreate the wheel.
Right.
If they're doing some stuff that it makes sense for us to be able to do the same thing that they're doing. And maybe that's what we need to do, is look into what maybe some of these other
What their
cities-
plans are going forward.
Yeah.
I understand. And I'm sorry I don't have that information to give to you tonight.
So can the city require the people, even if they're outside, if they're within 6 feet of somebody, to wear a mask? I'm just kind of asking.
I think the mask mandate is probably the safest bet going with anything.
The current,
Well, I understand.
the current declaration that we have does, mask mandate we have is outside within 6 feet. So that's what we have currently, or anybody that's going to be indoors.
And that's our city mandate.
Yeah, that's what the city has currently on place. If you're outside of 6 feet, you don't have to wear a mask. If you're within 6 feet,
Right.
you have to have a mask.
Right.
And the only reason why I think that would be so important is because there's going to be so many people coming in from all over.
Right.
And you just want to be cautious. So the question is, if we say that if you're going to come to the Rattlesnake Derby and you're within 6 feet of somebody and then you have to wear a mask, what's going to happen for those people that don't do it and refuse?
That's going to happen. We had a regional tournament at Minco this last weekend, and they had announcements that they didn't even say masks were required. They just said they're recommended. And I would say the majority of the people wore their mask through the lobby and through the, if they went in the restroom, but then once they got to their seat inside the gym, most everyone took their mask off, even inside the gym. Did I hear correctly that the state of Texas has removed all mask mandates?
Yes, they did that today.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Everything's open and no masks.
Yeah, and they've actually made it almost a criminal act for a city to do it. And there's a current law going through the Oklahoma legislature right now trying to do the same thing here.
I was under the impression that the city of Oklahoma City has already dropped the 6 foot rule. Is that correct?
I haven't seen that, and that would be
Mask mandate's still in place. Mask mandate's still in place, but the 6 foot rule has been gone.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Okay. I understand that they need to know something because they've got so much planning to do. And this is the beginning of March and we're talking, what?
We're talking
How
7
many
weeks.
weeks?
7 weeks.
Talking about less than 2 months. So they really can't wait until we have another meeting in April. So we need to have, if there's anybody else that has any more discussion and stuff, we need to really talk about it, about what you would want to see if they had it. Are there any concerns? And
So Mary Jane, I'll just give you my thoughts. Number one,
I'd want to know, especially with regards to Carnival, how they're going to handle that portion, because there's a lot of kids, and the kids are the ones that they're spreading the most. That's number one. Number two, I mean, legitimately, how are you going to enforce a mask mandate in this type of situation? You're not. And so basically you're putting something in place that you can't mandate, you can't enforce. Are we going to ticket every single person that has it? No. It's unenforceable. And why put something in place that can't be enforced? And so I just feel like we probably need some additional information, at least from the Carnival side of things. I mean,
Keith, what about if we, based on what Ronnie just said, Commissioner Webb, what about, can we approve it and then I don't know if we'd probably have to have a special meeting, but exclude the Carnival from it, and then and then we could you get the information.
Mary Jane, it was April last year when we got shut down.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we were working hard and heavy up until, I mean, it was like March 11th when the COVID thing hit Oklahoma, and then it was like April is when we got the notification that it was done.
Yeah,
So,
we had our first, basically we set our emergency declaration on the 23rd of March. And then by the 6th, the meetings were all held to decide that the Rattlesnake Derby couldn't happen.
right.
is there any reason we couldn't do an emergency meeting? I mean, you said you could call tonight. Is there a reason we couldn't do an emergency meeting within a very short time frame?
It won't meet the definition of an emergency meeting. You could probably do a special meeting, but it couldn't be an emergency meeting.
Or a special meeting, I guess.
48 hours. With 48 hours notice, we could do a special meeting.
Okay, so Keith, listening to what you said, we still have some time. You still have some time where you could communicate with the Carnival people.
Is Carnival y'all's biggest concern?
It is mine.
Well, Mary, I don't mean to interrupt, Mary Jane, but we have a food alley. Everybody knows food alley down in Derby, and everybody knows what it's elbow to elbow through there. So I don't understand why the concern is so much to the Carnival and not so much towards the flea market and the food alley part. Because I mean, there's only so much we have control over.
Yeah.
And
I just think about kids being together, being really close.
right.
That they're not going to probably, I don't know what their procedure is to sanitize after kids are in there and all of that.
And I get that. I do. I'm glad you brought that to my attention, because that is a question I'm going to ask as soon as we get done.
Okay.
My question, Mary Jane, is what would it take in order for you to feel safe for us to carry on with the Derby and the Carnival and everything? What recommendations would you require for the city to say, okay, we can do this?
Well, if I had just my thoughts are, if the Carnival, depending on how safe they were in trying to sanitize their stuff, and I agree totally, the people that are going to wear a mask are going to wear a mask, and the ones that aren't. And it's just the way it is about the mandate right now with the mask. The people that want to wear it, wear it. I think it's going to be, I don't know. I think that we could do it, but I'm kind of like Ronnie. There's just a little bit more information I want.
Right.
But I really think that if people are conscious about who they're around, wearing a mask, I think it would work. I mean, I do, but the people that don't want to go, that are concerned, don't go.
Right.
People that want to wear a mask are going to wear a mask.
Right.
And, I don't know. I think if we just keep reminders out about what's safe, I don't know. I want to hear from the other commissioners.
Well,
Go ahead, Ron.
You're right about not being able to enforce the mask. But you know what? People have been living with this now for a year. And if they haven't already heard, the distancing and the masks are important factors to keep from getting sick, then it's a little late to try to get it over to them, because it's been beat into our heads for a year. With Texas opening up the whole state and all of their restaurants and all that going on, gives you a little bit of pause to think people are ready to try to get out there and live again. And like I say, if you don't know now what the danger is and how to keep from getting it, it's a little late to start.
Shelley, you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Ron there. And our little community has gone without some really important events for a full year. I mean, there's billions of communities that have. If we can get back to some kind of normalcy and just have that precautionary measures that everyone should be taking at this point, like Ron said, you shouldn't have to be told, hey, if you don't want to go, don't go. And number two, if you want to go, put a mask on, keep your distance. Surely we've learned that within the last year. And maybe it's something that, like with the carnival rides, I don't know if the city could maybe provide some wipes as they're going into the carnival, if they don't do that for them already, which I would be surprised if they don't. I mean, I think they probably have something put into place. They would almost have to be able to continue. But I think it's a good idea to start getting back to where we need to be within our community.
Travis? Can't hear you.
Not hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. I'm definitely in favor of going forward and trying to do it, doing it as safe as we can. I mean, our community definitely needs it, and it's not, I don't think it can be perfect, and probably can't meet all the requirements by the CDC, but again, it is optional and nobody's required to be there. And if you want to be there, I mean, it's no different than going to Walmart. You're taking a risk when you go to Walmart, because there's people that don't wear a mask in Walmart and that touch the same checkout counter that you're touching, before you check out. So, and I agree with Keith also that I'm not sure that the carnival is going to be the biggest concern, because when you get to the food area and people are eating, then they're going to, take their mask off to eat. And they use that as an excuse. Same thing in a basketball gym, that, when we have mask mandates, we have, people that will go get something from the concession and sit there and just hold it and take their mask off so that they can say, well, I'm eating and that's why I don't have my mask on. And, I don't know that it'll be elbow to elbow everywhere, because I hope that we have the crowds that we've had in the past, but I think it would be limited, but I think it's really going to hurt it if we go 2 years without it. I think we need to do all we can to try to have it.
And something else that Keith said about separating booths and stuff, maybe we just spread all the booths and the food courts and the whole thing out further than what we normally would. So that's going to keep that distance between those things. And that's also going to keep that distance between people as they move from one place to the other.
Yeah, that's a possible thing to do.
And just logistically speaking, from the city's point of view, there are some aspects that we would have to consider, and that would be power and water. We provide power and water to a lot of those vendors. So we'd have to work that around, and the Derby folks, you guys would have to figure out a way that we could provide the people that need water and need power to be in that location, and those who don't are someplace beyond.
I'm sorry, Dave, I don't mean to interrupt, but we already have that kind of in place.
Okay.
The major power users and the water users, we have them in one area anyway. So it's just a matter of, do we fill all the food spaces, or do we fill every other food space? Which, I mean, that's a possible thing if that's what it takes to make this happen. So.
I think all of us would like to get a little more input from, and if you would call some of the other cities that are doing the same thing, and if they've got any input, be interested to see what that was. And also if the carnival people have been putting on carnivals anywhere else, what are they
Nope.
doing better?
Sorry,
They haven't-
Ron, but they have not. This
Is
is
that
our,
right?
they haven't done a show all year last year. This is their first one.
Wow.
Which that leads me to believe that they're going to struggle with being able to sanitize, which I would think would be an issue. The only thing I could think of that could sanitize appropriately would be something like the school system's using, which is that aerosol thing that they run through the classrooms each day after the classroom ends. I think that's going to be a trouble, but I would like to know from the other cities what they are doing to mitigate anything. And again, you're right. It's somebody's choice of whether or not to come. Where things start becoming problematic is when people who don't choose to go are in situations with other people that chose to go, and that's when we start getting those climbs. And so that's my concern, not for the people that choose to go. You're absolutely right. I may be one that doesn't choose to go because of health issues or things like that. But then I'm going to eventually come in contact with somebody that may have chosen to go. And so that's my thought. I just feel like I need so much more information to be able to make an educated decision. That's me.
Ron, I understand where you're coming from, but don't we have that exact same issue just going to United or going to anywhere else? I mean,
We're
if
bringing
somebody,
in,
but what I'm saying is, go ahead.
we're bringing in others into the community. We're actually opening up the community to others. And again, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just asking what can be done to mitigate those things. What are other cities doing?
Okay, right.
And that doesn't mean we can't approve it. It just means that he needs to know that, and hopefully the other cities are doing some things that can help you, Keith, do
Right.
what you can to make things safer.
You know, I understand. And I will make, I've got one contact. Apache's the only people that we've ever really dealt with as far as a contact basis. And I can reach out to Apache. I do not know anybody from the other three cities. So that I will make an effort to find out, see what their plans are. But from what I'm hearing, it's they're opening it up. It's not, there's no holding back. They're opening it up. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know for a fact. I'll check into that. So.
Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment or have a question for Keith or LD? Anybody? Well, if not, then we're going to have to go on to the next item, which is the possible action on on this presentation, whether to allow the Rattlesnake Derby to happen in the city or not. So at this time, I would entertain a motion for number 10 based on the presentations that we've had about the Rattlesnake Derby. Is there anybody that would like to make a motion on number 10?
Yeah, I'll
Wait,
make a
stop. We lost Billy, I think.
We did, but I've got her on a phone.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
motion.
All right, go ahead.
We'd make a motion that we authorize the Rattlesnake Association to plan the Derby, barring any state requirement that would prohibit it.
Okay, we have a motion.
And I have to write it all down now.
Oh, okay. And I can write some of it down. Well, we have a motion from Gay. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a second from Bowman. All right, when you're ready, Billy, call for a vote when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Gay,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Webb,
No.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The Rattlesnake Derby is allowed to happen. Keith, again, I wished you would call Dave and kind of let him know what you find out with the carnival. And when you talk to, was it you say Arapaho or Apache?
Apache.
Apache. And kind of let us know so he can kind of send out an email to all of us and just tell us what you said.
I will take care of the city of Mangum as best as I can, I promise.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to go on to item number 11. Presentation discussion with regard to the alumni reunion on Saturday, May the 22nd, 2021. We have Rebecca Price with us, who is the president of the association this year. And she's going to kind of explain to you what it is that the board talked about and what they were kind of wanting to do that would maybe be satisfactory to the commission. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, thank you. We had a board meeting last week and kind of talked about what we could do. And we are not going to try to have a banquet and bring everybody into a building. We're just going to do Saturday and have tailgating and games and a band that night to dance. We're going to have Western Heritage is going to do a breakfast for us that morning. And then we'll have a parade and then just start the tailgating like we've done in the past. We may invite 2 or 3 food trucks, probably more local ones, because I don't know how much money they'll make. I don't know how many people will come. We aren't going to send out invitations this year. We're just doing it all by the newspaper, email, our websites, Facebook. So we really aren't going to have a good count. We'll have the porta potties in like we usually do, and we'll want streets blocked off like we have done. I mean, there again, just like the Rattlesnake Derby, we can't guarantee nobody's going to group up. And we will recommend wearing masks if that's what we need to do. What else, Mary Jane, was it?
Well, one of the things that I think that we needed to let everybody know is that we don't anticipate a huge crowd.
No.
We don't, usually there's 300 or 400 people there. And then there's a lot of kids who come in the evening and stuff. We just don't, all the older alum, I don't anticipate them to come.
Because they come for the banquet.
They always come for the banquet. That's exactly right. And the reason why I'm commenting, guys, is because I sit on this board too, the alumni board. And we are willing to really set up some rules and the masking and all that. And I think our group will be pretty good at doing that. What I recommended to some of them is get one of your little tents. If the county approves us to have it there, they can get those tents up, set up a few chairs under the tent for their class, and then that's just what they're going to do. And some people can tailgate on the ribbon of the courthouse. I just don't anticipate a huge number of people there, but we'll be as careful as possible and try to keep the kids intact as much.
Yeah, we will.
Rebecca, you said the breakfast, is that an outdoor event?
Yes. Yes. You know how the Western Heritage does it on the open fire and stuff?
Right.
That's what they're going to do.
Be great.
So everything's going to be outside unless that night we need the band to be inside and it'll just be the band. And we'll have speakers outside, because sometimes it rains and humidity's high and they don't want their equipment out there.
Yeah.
So that would be the only people that would be in the building. Everything else we're doing outside. And I think we had 350 the year, not last year, but the year before.
I believe so.
Was that right, Mary Jane? It's
Yeah.
something like that. But I would be real surprised if we had that.
And the other thing, I know because I was there was 350 people there, but in all honesty, people are spread out all over the place at alumni.
Yeah.
They all do their own little class thing, and there's those people there, but I didn't know there was 350 people there.
Right.
There was a lot of people, yeah. But they honestly kind of split off and everybody kind of does their own thing. And I don't see a problem at all with moving forward. I'm in favor of getting back to some normalcy within things.
Sure.
Anybody else?
Banquet would have been my only concern because that is close proximity in that small building.
Yeah.
And so without that, I definitely would be in agreement.
Anybody else have a comment?
Mary Jane, I'll just say this. This is different than the Rattlesnake Derby for two reasons. School's out, and so we're not going to have kids going back in school, bringing stuff in. It is spread out quite a bit. The banquet would be the only concern for me, so I see a difference in the two.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we don't have any more comments or questions at this time. If you have a question for Rebecca, you can always let her know. Let me know and I'll ask her. If we do not have any more comments or anything, let's go on to item number 12, which is to approve the proposal for the alumni reunion on May 22nd of 21 within the city limits. Do I have a motion?
I'd make that motion.
Ronnie Webb made that
I'll
motion. Bowman seconded.
Who did?
Ronnie Webb made the motion. Shelley Bowman second.
To approve the alumni banquet?
Not the banquet, but that they were going to hold the alumni weekend. It'll be a one-day event without the banquet.
Okay.
Okay, she can call for a vote when she's ready.
Gay,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The alumni reunion will be going on Saturday, the 22nd, all outdoors. Thank you very much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, next on the agenda says staff and board remarks. Are there any remarks or inquiries by the governing body, city manager, city attorney, or city employees?
I do, but I will let the commissioners go first if they have anything.
Dave, there's two things that I have. One is the MOU
Yes, sir.
for DHS. Is that something that could be presented to the commission next month?
I need to know what the plan is with the county. Are you going to do it at the county or?
Yeah, we're going to do the parking at the county, but
Right. We just hold the keys at dispatch.
yes.
Okay, that's simple.
Okay. And then I was going, because I've had a couple of people ask about the pool, what the commission's going to do about that, if they're going to open it or they're not. I've directed them to you, but I think that's something that should probably be discussed in April. If the pool's going to open up, there's a lot of repairs that need to be done. But you also need to find a new pool manager. And so that requires classes and things like that. I'm not suggesting it should open. I'm just saying that people have approached me. And I know there are repairs that are badly needed, as well as the need to have somebody that's certified to be a pool person.
We can't discuss that tonight, but you bringing it up, I will put it on the agenda for our next meeting. it has been a concern of mine as well. I've been trying to figure out exactly how we were going to do it, what we were going to do. But with everything that has happened over the last couple of weeks, it's just back burners. But we will have that on the agenda for next time and a full discussion.
Dave, what's our situation with the lagoons?
The lagoons are actually looking pretty good. We've got our so are we talking specifically about the notice of violation or where the lagoons are height wise?
Yeah, basically that.
Okay. So the consent order that we are under right now, we have taken care of everything but the alarm and the second pump. The second pump has been installed or has been ordered, and we are waiting for that to come in so we can install it. That'll give us 2 pumps that we can run in series, and instead of having 1 pump with no backup. That'll fix the issue with not having an emergency pump, basically. The second issue is the alarm system. We just got that data in yesterday. I've contacted them back. The alarm itself is going to cost us about $3,000. We've already got all that set aside, and we're gonna go ahead and get that ordered. It's a lights and audible alarm, because if we were to order the one with the phone, we were going to have dialer services, and it was just going to get stupidly expensive. To meet the needs, with the limited use that lift station has, the neighbors will hear it and they will call us. The neighbors will call us because they're going to want us to shut it off. It'll be loud. So, and that'll be installed, and it'll take a week to get it, and we'll have it installed before the end of the month. The lagoons themselves, I have pictures of them from when the ice, or not the ice storm, but the winter storm hit us, where they were all frozen. But they're in good shape, and we've had conversations now with the leaser of the land that we do a land application with, and he is working with us now. I don't think he quite understood the severity of the issue that we were under when we were having those conversations before. He just kind of thought this was just a recommendation or something. I don't know, but now he understands that if water gets off of that and he fails to turn those off, that he's going to get legal action against him. He understands that, and he knows that, and he's actually working on finding ways to mitigate the issues with the water runoff on his own, just to help us out. So that's really good news.
Yeah.
What else?
Hey,
Well, yes, sir.
hey, I don't know if any of the guys that worked on the water main break are watching or listening or what, but I just want to say thank you. That was repaired in less than 12 hours, I believe. And I drove down there to look at it and saw it when it was completely torn apart, and couldn't believe that they were already at that stage that quickly.
Yep.
And, just looking at what all went into that to have that done in less than 36 hours is really amazing. So for them to get it done in 12 and get water back to everyone, that I just appreciate them and all the work and I know there was a lot of thank yous on Facebook, but
yeah,
it really, for a small town to get that done that quick, that large of a break, that was really amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about it a little bit during the MUA meeting, but I'll go ahead and cover it here. That break was it was a 12-inch line. It was under a bridge. The reason we had said that it was going to take 36 hours because we thought that dismantling that bridge was going to take 12 to 14 hours, up to 24 hours if they met real resistance with that concrete. We were able to get our contractor that does all of our he does all of our house removals and demolitions out there with a heavy excavator, and basically lifted that bridge out in a couple of pieces and had it done in basically 20 minutes. So it was fantastic to have that support. He did a great job of getting it done and getting it out of there. And he kind of stuck around and helped dig the hole to get to the pipes. Because of, and I'll just give you kind of an explanation of why it affected us so horribly. That pipe wasn't as packed around with dirt, so there was no pressure. Once that pipe went, it just all went. There was no dirt there to hold it all together, to give us at least a little bit, and it emptied out the town in almost 20 minutes. Luckily, our guys were on the ball on that, and they really stepped up. They really did a great job. I also want to say a big thank you to the fire department. I made a call and said, hey, maybe we could do something with a fire truck to get some water done. And we were actually thinking about some extra tanks that we had off to the side. The fire department just stepped up and said, hey man, we're going to get this done. And 15 minutes later, they were out issuing out whatever water you needed for your toilets or your, you couldn't drink it, but you could go in there and fill up whatever water you needed. We got that word out, and within minutes we had people there filling up. So the fire department did a great job. We were working with United, and United did a fantastic job of, we got right up to the cusp of having potable water available with an order that they were making. We were going to buy a pallet or two. They were going to donate a pallet to us. We got right up to the point where we were ready to go, and we found out that the water was going to be turning back on in an hour or so. And so we decided to go ahead and call that off. But it was a really great opportunity for United and the city to collaborate. We did, it was an amazing job on their end. That's a fantastic view of what we can do with each other in the future. And this was if this ever happens again, we've kind of done a dry run now. So that was an amazing opportunity for United and us. And I thank them. I want to publicly thank them for all the work they did on that. Anything else? Sorry, real quick.
No.
Okay, I do have a report real quick to give. As many of you know, the Welcome Center and the Armory both flooded. I wanted to kind of show you this for those who haven't seen anything of it. And I'm hoping that this comes through. This is an actual video of the back of the Armory. I don't know, can you see that well?
Yes, looks good. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What was happening, and you'll see in the back here, I can kind of use my arrow. That is the fire suppression system. The fire suppression system, the valve on it wasn't working correctly, and something happened, and it just started shooting water out of it, to the extent of it flooded the entire Armory up probably 6 to 8 inches. If you know that back bay, that is a lot of water. And this is a video of when it finally turned off, where it all went.
Uh-oh. Oh my.
The indoor pool.
That's an indoor pool now, because that was the shooting range downstairs. the water was coming out of every single spick for the fire suppression system, and in such force that it filled this whole entire building up. It was just incredible. And then sorry, I got some pictures of maybe one. What was that? There we go. Yeah, if you can see, this is the Welcome Center. There was a water break between the first and the second floor, flooded out the entire building again. On this one, because of the carpet, the drywall, and all of that, we had called in an emergency repair, or not repair, but mitigation services called Dry Right, and they came out. They did a great job of getting that all dried out. They've removed some of the drywall because that was all going to create a big mold problem. This was a big mess. And then I don't have video of it, but there was a point where City Hall had flooded as well. So, but we've gotten everything nailed down, and we've stopped the leaks, thank goodness. The waters have receded, so the floods are over for now. We are still going to be dealing with some water breaks as we find them. We know that there are breaks all over. We still are not up to full pressure, so the guys are just knocking it out of the park. Our water department, they have worked tirelessly and just keep going and going and going. Those guys are like Energizer bunnies. The entire city outdoor departments, everybody from parks to streets to the electric guys, especially, they've all stepped in and they've all been helping. So it's a collaborative effort, and these guys are knocking it out of the park. I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of the work they're doing.
Okay. All right. Any other, thank you very much for that, Dave.
Certainly.
And I ditto all the compliments to all of our staff and everybody. It's just wonderful. Anybody else would like to make any comments or remarks? If not, is there anything?
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Billy had something to say here real quick.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you guys know that we have about almost 100 people signed up for the online bill payment.
Oh.
And they've been paying at least 3 to 4 people every day, including the weekend, have been paying online.
That's great. All right. Okay, is there any new business? Dave, you're muted.
No, I'm sorry. I was just telling Billy, thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, any new business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
I think Travis seconded.
Oh, Travis seconded. Okay, thank you. Reese seconded. Thank you. I didn't hear anybody. I thought you guys want to stay here. We have a motion and a second. Would you please call for a vote?
Okay.
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Motion carries, and we are adjourned for the city commission meeting. We're going to go directly into the Mangum Utility Authority meeting. And we're going to go right straight on down. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would you do a roll call, please?
Scott,
Here.
Webb,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Gay,
Here.
Reese,
Can't hear you, Travis.
I don't know what the deal is.
Okay,
Here.
just talk here. You're really soft. You're really hard to hear. Okay. All right. We do have a quorum, and so we're going to go right into the consent agenda. The consent agenda approved minutes for February 2nd of 21 and approved the claims for February of 21. Do I have anything that you want to remove from the consent agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd make that motion.
I have a motion by Webb. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Gay. Would you call for a vote, Billy?
Todd,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next item is remarks or inquiries by the audience not pertaining to any item on the agenda. Is there anybody listening that would like to make a remark?
The only listener we have is Keith. If Keith has anything to say.
Okay, all right. So we're going to go right on into, do we have any comments from the staff or board remarks? Okay, do we have any new business?
No new business.
No new business. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move. We adjourn.
I have a motion by Gay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Bowman. Would you please call for a vote?
Scott,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Reese.
Okay. He said yes.
Sure.
Okay. Motion carries and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very, very much. And those that are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching.
Thank you much.